Hi everyone, Lady Steam here. In this video, we're going to cover an overview of how you make your very own safety fidget. And we're calling these our Kinetic Safety Fidget since they spin in and out. That's what this video is for. We'll take a look at all the parts and pieces, and then we'll talk about what you need to prep and sand and decorate on, and then we'll cover a section on how to actually build your Kinetic Safety Fidget. Let's take a look at the pieces and parts of your Kinetic Safety Fidget and talk a little bit about what you need to do for decorating and preparing your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and open the bag. In my bag, you'll notice that we included a fun little wrist strap for you and one screw and nut, so I'm going to put those on the side for now. I'm going to go ahead and open up my bag with two gears. And you'll notice we've got two nice little gears here. We're going to glue those together so you'll mostly see the outside. So in terms of prep, you probably want to sand at least a little bit on the outsides of both of these gears. It may be easier for you to use a screw to align them and glue together before you start decorating, so you're sure you get all of the sides done. Be careful not to get any paint or anything in between those teeth, or it will slow things down a little bit. And then I'm going to flip my stack over so the bottom is on the bottom. This is the front face. You can sand this side of this face. You probably don't want to sand on the inside, but we definitely want to sand on the outside of this face. Do whatever decorating you want on it to make it pretty. Then on the inside, there really are only two pieces. There's the sliding bar that we're going to spin with our gears to have come up. Well, the gears will go here and they'll spin and they'll move that piece up. And you definitely want to take these two pieces. Again, you may want to put them together, but you definitely want to sand on them just a little bit, actually quite a lot, to make sure you've got some space so that there's actually room between these two pieces and your bar itself. And what we're going to do when we assemble it is we're actually going to set this on top once we've glued a couple of the pieces and make sure this still slides in and out smoothly. In a perfect world, it will be tight enough once you've finished with it so that you can easily spin the wheel to pull it out, but not so loose that it just falls out. If you end up with it till it's just falling out, then you'll be able to hook your wrist strap or whatever you want to here. If you put it on your waist, I think that's going to be kind of cute. But be careful what you do when you sand it, because that's your ideal sandiness. Or sand the outsides lightly and decorate them, and then as you're ready to test, you can just leave them sitting together and then sand them enough and then add the glue at a later date. These next two pieces you need to be very, very careful with, but you don't want to sand at all. We're going to glue them together like so. And once we do that, we'll be able to glue them to this layer. But don't sand on them. They want to be a little thicker than your two pull bars are. So they shouldn't be sanded at all, and you need to be really gentle with them. So I'm just going to put those on my the side for now, so I'm sure I don't get any damage done to them at all. And finally, just like on the front, you can decorate and sand. Actually, probably sand a little bit on the inside so everything slides nice and smoothly as well once we put them together. So both sides of these, outsides of this stack, outsides of this stack are your goal and your mission for getting things decorated and ready to build. So do that first and then come back and watch the rest of the video and we'll talk all about how to put it together. Now that you have your pieces and parts all sanded and decorated, and I'm sure they are beautiful, let's talk about what we need to do to assemble them. And I'm going to work from the back forward in this case. So I'm going to start with the back. And I'm going to flip it over and lay it on its side. Now what we want to do is we're actually going to line up the holes on these two inner layers first and get them lined up just so we know how this piece goes on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the outside of this. Again, I'm sure you did not sand it. We'll use my bottle of glue here. To do this bit of assembly. Flip it over. And then I want to ever so carefully glue it down. If you accidentally break it, it's not a big deal. You've got enough space here. You should be able to carefully just glue it back together. Glue those pieces back together. But just get this lined up nice against the edge, like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing here and glue this piece on top. Again, I want to be careful to get it lined up. Wipe excess glue off if you end up with it. Make sure your piece will still slide in and out through the hole okay. So we'll do this here. And I've managed to put that in nice and solid. And again, I can make sure my piece will still fit in and slide in and out fine with that. And you'll notice that the hole here is actually so you can see through to the inside and see the pieces. So now what I want to do is glue these two layers together. I did sand on both sides of them with my sander to make them nice and smooth. Depending on how much decorating you did, you may have had to sand a little more to get it all nice and smooth. But again, I'm going to set them together, make sure they're lined up really well. That's going to be the key to being able to make the teeth spin smoothly, is getting those lined up nicely, like so. And if you put your hand over it, you'll feel that you're just a little bit above now the surface of those two pieces if you did a little bit of sanding. And if I set this top piece on, you'll see I can pull it out. Now that's not quite as loose as I might normally want it. So I'm going to do one more thing here before I glue it. I'm going to open my screw bag. And next thing I want to do is glue these two together. So I'm going to slide this back in through here. Put a little glue on the back side of this screw. Like so. And set this on. And getting the teeth aligned, again, is the key to this. So make sure you're looking over the top of it so you can get the teeth aligned properly. Push down, make sure those are good. Because the real question to how smooth this is going to be is, can I spin the gear and still slide my piece? So now what I can do is set this top on like so and see how smoothly that spins. And if you're happy with how smooth it's spinning, if you're holding down the top just a little bit, then you're in good shape. And I'm reasonably happy with that. So we're going to open that in and out. It'll smooth down a little bit once you do it, but once you glue it together, you're kind of committed. So be a little careful with that. I'm going to go ahead and leave those gears on there now. And I want to put glue on this outside ring, and I'm going to do it here rather than doing it on the big piece, because I definitely don't want to get any into the gear teeth. So very careful to make sure it's on the outside and not on this. And if you get any on that, pop it out and wipe it. Make sure you don't have any on your slider. Flip it over, put your screw line, use your screw on one side to line that up. I'll wait and tighten that down in a second. Actually, let's just let that fall out if it wants to. Okay. I'm going to wipe all the extra glue off the outside. So we're smooth. I actually managed to get glue on my fingers everywhere this time. And you'll see how nice and smooth that is, but it won't fall out, which is perfect. And then I'm going to flip my screw over the other direction, since I want the front to be the side that doesn't say Steamy Tech. And like all things we assemble, we'll go ahead, put one little drop of glue here. And put my nut on nice and loose. Make sure you don't tighten that down any at all. Again, wipe off any extra glue you got anywhere. Let that go, go, go. Finally, you're ready to put the hanger on. As I said, we've made 2 hanger homes. Ideally, you'd hang it this way. I think it's more comfortable for me. But if it's very, very, very loose, you may want to put your hanger in through here. So we'll drop the hanger in. Put that through like so. And ta-da! You have your very own Steamy Tech Kinetic Safety Fidget.